Welcome to the Community Difference Rockwall, hosted by Clarence Jorif with the Compound Nevada, and by Frank McLeod with Minuteman Press of Rockwall, and Kim Johnson with the Kim Johnson Group, and by Harvey Lucier with Twilight Cleaning Services.
The Community Difference Rockwall was created to serve as a platform for local leaders and business professionals to showcase their expertise, values, and commitment to their community. Overall, the podcast aims to create a stronger sense of community in North Texas by highlighting the often overlooked or unnoticed good work being done by local leaders, businesses, and professionals. So sit back and relax as our hosts, co-hosts, and their guests share inspirational stories, experiences, thoughts, and insights about being a professional, along with the opportunity for our businesses to serve our community in very special ways. Because the Community Difference Rockwall starts now.
Good afternoon, Rockwall. Welcome to the Community Difference Rockwall, a podcast firmly rooted at the intersection of business development and community involvement. I'm your host, Clarence Jorif, and I'm the proud owner and president of the Compound Nevada. It's a premier outdoor shooting range offering a safe environment and exceptional experience for firearm enthusiasts. It hosts 16 pistol lanes, 10 rifle lanes, and we have an additional 200-yard rifle lanes coming soon. Myself and my certified team offer a variety of training courses from basic firearm safety to advanced handgun, rifle, and shotgun instruction. Also, I'm proud to serve all the residents of Rockwall as Mayor Pro Tem for the city of Rockwall, and I'm running to become your next mayor in the upcoming election scheduled for May of 2025. I'm really energized for today's The Community Difference Rockwall because we're going to introduce you to some of the business owners that make the Rockwall Heath areas awesome places to live. We're going to inform you about what's going on in the area and discuss business development topics that help all of us build better businesses and provide better services to the people we serve in our communities. Today, we have an exciting show lined up, and we discuss our topic today, which is how to think like a CEO, even if you're a team of one. Adopting a growth mindset to lead your businesses to new heights. We'll delve into that topic during our third segment, but right now, I want to introduce you to our amazing co-host and incredible guest this afternoon. Co-host number one, the lady with the passion, the desire, she's always in the mix somehow, and she's a passionate community leader, serving on the boards of the Greater Rockwall Youth Symphony and as an ambassador for the Rockwall Chamber of Commerce. She's also involved with various organizations, including the Professional Women's Alliance and the Texas Valor Project, and co-host of Community Difference Rockwall podcast. As the owner of the Kim Johnson Group of RE/MAX Four Corners, Kim is a successful real estate agent and has earned several accolades, including top 500 agent in North Texas back in 2020. She's also a Dallas native and widowed mother of four. Her personal journey drives her advocacy work. With that, she is looking forward to chairing the upcoming Symphony of Color Gala and continue her community's involvement. Kim, welcome.
Hey.
What's going on, girl? Good to see you.
What's up, CJ?
You've been burning the candle at both ends here lately. What have you done to relax and take it easy?
You won't believe this, but I'm going to tell you two things that I do. You want to know the first one?
Of course.
Okay, well, I have African cicada tortoises. I don't know if anybody knows this. And if I just sit in the backyard and let my tortoises just roam around and play, they are quiet. They don't talk back. They love on me, and they just roam around, and they give me some tranquility. And then
you don't have to pick up any droppings after the fact because you can't see them.
No, it just disintegrates like right into your land.
Nice.
The other thing is I am involved in a whiskey group.
Okay.
And once a month we meet and we do a whiskey tasting, and it's usually themed, and it is so much fun. There's about 10 of us, and they're very strict. If you don't show up, you get kicked out of the group. And it's just a way to decompress and just kick back and get away from the day-to-day monotony and to meet other people and to see what was going on in other people's lives.
Man, that sounds awesome. Awesome. But you know what? We need to show some love to our second co-host, Mr. Frank McLeod. He's the owner of Minuteman Press of Rockwall, a full-service printing and graphic design company known for its exceptional quality and personalized service. Frank leads a talented team dedicated to providing top-notch printing solutions, ensuring that every project is handled with precision and professionalism. A proud 1985 graduate of Rockwall High School, Frank has deep roots in our community and brings both expertise and a personal touch to his business. Frank, we're thrilled to have you here today. Where's he at?
Hey there.
There he is.
What is happening, Kim and CJ? Good to see you all today.
What's going on, brother?
Oh, man.
So,
Another Wednesday.
I hear that. I got something for you. There's been a lot of stuff going on in the news here, and I know you stay abreast of that stuff. What did you think about the interaction between President Trump, Vice President Vance, and President Zelensky at the White House? What did you get out of that?
I found it very refreshing myself. We have a president that stands up and looks for American interest rather than trying to support the world.
That's what I'm talking about. That's right. Awesome.
Love those sound effects.
Let's jump into our first guest, Amanda Casper. Amanda founded GRIS, which is the Greater Rockwall Youth Symphony, in 2022. I was there for part of that. I love Amanda. After earning a master's degree in horn performance from Southern Methodist University, she previously had a successful freelance career in New York, Cleveland, and Florida. You see, Amanda, you needed a bodyguard tonight in New York, and I would have been there for you, where she founded a Florida horn studio, teaching over 100 students. Some of her students have attended prestigious festivals and received scholarships. Amanda began her musical training early, excelling in Juilliard and Manhattan School of Music pre-college programs, and earning a Bachelor of Music from the Cleveland Institute of Music in 2006. In addition to her musical expertise, Amanda is a licensed clinical social worker with degrees in psychology and social work from Case Western Reserve University. That's why you be looking at me funny sometimes and going, where's he coming from? No worries. With over 25 years of experience in music and education, she combines her skills and passion for teaching in her work at GRIS. Amanda.
Hi.
There she is. How you doing?
Good. Thank you for having me today.
Oh, no worries. You're going to help make this, along with our second guest, a rocking show. So I got one question for you. Music has been a lifelong passion for you. Why?
It was kind of the way I found myself. I had been bullied when I was younger, and basically not only did it give me direction and something I really enjoyed, it gave me friendships that I didn't have. I had a place where it was like my people, and I was able to grow and play my French horn, but I also got to be a part of a different kind of community, one that accepted me and that I could contribute to with all my heart and soul. And so I've carried that with me my whole life.
Awesome. We'll pick up on that in a little bit. Last but not least, Nate Romo. I'd like to welcome one of my brothers in arms, Nate Romo. Nate is a U.S. Marine Corps veteran and an active member of the Rockwall Chamber. He is currently a member of Leadership Rockwall Class 2025. Nate, where you at?
Hello. Good afternoon.
There he is. Good to see you, brother.
How's it going?
Not bad at all. Hey, I got a quick question for you. What has been the biggest challenge being part of Leadership Rockwall Class of 2025?
Well, they do say every class that goes through calls themselves the best class. So I do have to give us a shout out there and say we are the best class.
Not true.
So
greatest of all time. The GOAT 2023.
Man, it's unfortunate for the previous classes because we are the best class. I'll tell you that some of the challenges, and I think you guys can attest to this for being in leadership. One of the things that we have experienced as difficult is we are doing a project and trying to get 23 people on the same page at the same time, a bunch of business owners, community leaders, all at somewhere to do a project has been extremely difficult. We're managing and we're doing well, but wow.
Knowing that I'm a class A, a type A, I had to just basically step back and let them roll. So guess what? Coming up next, we're going to address what's happening in our communities. We're going to talk about big updates, important events, and insider information that you'll want to know. Stick around. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
The Community Difference Rockwall is made possible by Frank McLeod with Minuteman Press of Rockwall, Brian Clarence Jorif with the Compound Nevada, Kim Johnson with Kim Johnson Group, and by Harvey Lucier with Twilight Cleaning Services. Community Difference Rockwall. Together, we can make the difference. And now, back to the show.
Are you ready?
Because it's time for What's Up Rockwall?
Here it is. What's up, Rockwall? I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna give up the first one to who wants it? Let's go ahead, Kim. You're up. What's up, Rockwall?
Woo! Okay, I've got a couple of things. The first thing is one of my passions, and I'm on the board of GRIS and future of the Rockwall Art League, and we are going to have a kickoff event at the flat. It's going to be a candlelight event. Tickets are $30. It goes all towards the children. We don't want anything, and it's going to be on March 25th at 6 p.m. In addition to that, I want you guys to keep in mind, you need something to do with your kids for spring break. Shenanigans is offering a play pass, and it's going to be Monday through Friday, and it opens at 4 p.m. and pre-sales are $19.99. Okay. I have one more thing that I'd like for you to know about, and it's going to be at the north side. It's going to be on March 15th, and they're going to host a St. Patty's Day celebration. They're going to have drink specials, food trucks, live music, and so if you're looking for a few things to do, that's 3 wonderful events that you guys can catch up on.
Awesome. Thanks a lot for that, Kim.
You're welcome.
All right, let's see. Nate, what do you got?
How's it going? We got some exciting stuff. We are Fate Roofing Group, so a couple things that are going on in Fate right now. We have got the Fate Village Tavern that just opened up. It's great, as well as what is it called? What do they call that right there? The new bar that just opened up there in the square.
Red Dirt.
Thank you. Red Dirt Social.
Red Dirt Social.
Yes, and it is incredible. They just came out with a new release that said they listen to everybody, and now breakfast is all day. So get over there, get some breakfast, get some coffee. It was very good. Another awesome thing that we are really excited about, we love to do this every year, is we team up with the Pregnancy Resource Center in Rockwall, and they do a Walk for Life on May 9th at 6 p.m. at Harry Myers. So bring the family. It's very family friendly. Food trucks come out. Everybody walks around for a little bit. I think we do 1 lap, and then everybody meets in the middle, kind of tells us what the Pregnancy Resource Center is about. There's donations. So it's a great place for family, friends, and fellowship. One of the other things, I've got 2 more, is with Leadership Rockwall, we are doing a project on Patriot Paws. And if you don't know about Patriot Paws, we will teach you all about it at our ribbon cutting on May 8th. We are doing a ribbon cutting for Patriot Paws. We are expanding their sensory garden. So basically what we're doing is just helping dogs that when these dogs get trained, they don't really have the ability to go out all the time. They're usually just on turf and right outside. So we're adding a sensory garden to show them what rocks, dirt, sand, tunnels, and sculptures of chickens and roosters and all kinds of different sculptures, bunnies. I think we're even making a Sasquatch sculpture, so just so they can see the difference of sizes of things, so that way when they get with their veterans, they aren't scared to see things out and about. One of the other, it is pretty cool. It's you would never think that dogs need a sensory garden until you dive into what Patriot Paws is all about. And
So
here
you
in the
took a
mission,
picture of me?
yeah, that's exactly right. They got the Sasquatch right off you.
Okay,
Look,
cool.
and we got it right there. That's exactly right. So it's really cool. We're doing a sand pit, and we have a little reflection pad for our veterans to go sit down and watch the pond have a fountain out of it. We're putting a fountain in there. We just built a walkway for them all the way around the sensory garden, and it's got we had some of the kids from the Gene Burton Academy help us build little 3D paw prints, and we stuck them in the concrete all around. So it looks like dogs are walking on the concrete. Super neat, and really excited for everybody to come out on May 8th for that. Another great thing that we got going is the Rockwall Chamber Caddy Shack Golf Tournament. So it's a 2-day event. The April 23rd, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. is the party. pun intended. And what they're going to do there is it's at X Golf in Rockwall. It's a couple different events. They've got the longest putt and the longest drive there. They've got little bites and snacks, and then it's just good networking. It's good to be around people, have a great time. You do not have to be playing in the golf tournament to participate in the party. So it's all fun right there. The next day from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. is the actual golf tournament, and that is going to be a blast. If you haven't been a part of it, it is super fun. Everybody just kind of takes off the suits, relaxes, hangs out, plays some golf. And then afterwards, directly after that at Buffalo Creek, there's the Battle of the Bites. And that's where a lot of the local restaurants and organizations come together and they bring their main course or their main dish that they want everyone to try. I think last year we had some great businesses come out. Sear Steakhouse. We had the other one. I can't remember the other two, but there was 2 or 3 that came out and everybody brought their little bites that they wanted everybody to try. And then we all got to judge them. And the reason I remember Sear Steakhouse is I believe they were the winners. They had like steak on a little tempura crisp. Incredible. So really excited for that. Like I said, that's April 23rd and then 24th is the golf tournament. And that is from 10 to 5.
Awesome. Little commentary on the Pregnancy Resource Center. As the president of the Rockwall County Republican Spanish Club, we have an annual Sanctity of Life benefit. And last year, the Pregnancy Resource Center was our recipient. It is so heartwarming and touching to see what they perform for their clients, to hear the stories of, you know what, there's always a second chance, and being able to give back to the community to that way. So I love them. And as far as that par T goes, I may have won the longest putt with a 48-foot putt last year. So I'm going to show up to make sure and safeguard my championship.
I'll have to reclaim that throne from you this year.
Oh, no. Bring it on, brother. That's why we're here. Bring it on. No worries. No worries. Thank you, brother. Hey, what you got, Frank?
Well, Nate's a humble guy, and he's not going to mention it, so I'm going to mention it.
Nice.
He was one of the big winners the other night at the Rockwall Chamber Awards banquet. He won the Emerging Business of the Year. There were a lot of worthwhile businesses that won awards, but I was really happy to see Nate win because he's a humble guy. He does good work, and he is one of the top emerging businesses in the Rockwall, I think.
Thank you.
And also, Clarence, I don't know if you knew it, but we've got some elections coming up. Have you heard that?
Wow, you're going to throw it back to me. I like that, Frank.
Have you heard that in passing that we may have some elections coming up?
It's election time here in the Metroplex. Humbly, I'm serving right now as Mayor Pro Tem for the City of Rockwall, but I have filed to become the next mayor of the City of Rockwall. It's all about leadership, taking care of those around you, community, not focusing on one person and one group. We're all one big family, and that's how I look at it. The biggest thing that I tell people, you know this, Frank, is don't ask me a question that you don't want an answer to, because I'm not a politician. I just call it straight. But having said that, we have elections in Fate. We have elections in, McLeod and Chisholm. We have elections in Heath, Roy City, and last but not least, Rockwall. That's going to be a full-blown because we have 12 candidates, at least in Rockwall. I can't talk to the other cities. So I'm kind of concentrating on home right here. But we have 3 candidates running for mayor, me being one. We have 4 candidates running for place 1. We have 2 candidates running for place 2. And then I got to round that out. No, 3 running for place 3. And then the rest are running for place 5. But the big thing that I like to bring to the equation is a lot of time people sit back on the background. It's like, okay, well, what do we do? What happens here? You got to get involved. And if you don't get involved, you need to voice your concerns to that elected official. I listen. We may agree. We may disagree. We may agree to disagree, but we don't have to be disagreeable. But it's always looking to find solutions that best fits our community overall. So I love it. I love it. I love it. With that, I'm going to segue to Miss Amanda. How are you?
Hey there. I'm so excited to be here and talk about Greater Rockwall Youth Symphony and the events we have coming up. So let me just start by saying Greater Rockwall Youth Symphony, or GRIS, is designed to connect kids with community through music. So besides our major events, we perform for senior facilities, at veterans events, for other nonprofits, local community events, as well as our own concerts. And so our next big event that's coming up is on May 2nd at 7:30 p.m., the Symphony of Color. You can actually join us at 6:30 if you want to be a VIP member. But this is going to be a fantastic event. It's our 3rd annual Symphony of Color, and this year's theme is Midnight in Paris. Think Art Deco in the 1920s, and let us whisk you away to Paris, where you can see all the cool fashion that I hope everyone will be wearing. You'll see beautiful art from the Rockwall Art League, and GRIS will be performing, their full orchestra will be performing French music as well as French-inspired music. So it's going to be really a special event. You don't often get to see a full orchestra and an art show all at one event, paired with the live and silent auction, the fun raffle prizes, Misty Rayson's photo booth from Captured Memories. It's going to be a blast, and certainly the first evening event we've had. So we're really elevating it, and we're hoping that we'll get more people to want to come to the event and even sponsor. So if you're a small business or a larger business and you're interested in coming and supporting 2 smaller nonprofits, the Greater Rockwall Youth Symphony and the Art League, please contact me directly so that we can work together to better serve our community.
Oui, oui, mademoiselle. Haha, très bien. So, that's another hidden little gem there. My family is from France, the Lyon section, so I can go back into like 3, 4, 5 different languages. Sometimes not necessarily the stuff you want to share in common conversation, but it brings a smile to faces, though. With that, we're going to go ahead and head into a commercial break. Next up after that'll be, we're going to deep dive into our monthly topic. The topic being how to think like a CEO, even though you're a team of one, adopting a growth mindset to lead your business to new heights.
The Community Difference would like to thank each of the following partners for their continued support. At Fireboss Realty, we believe life is about relationships, and everything else is just details. Whether you're buying or selling, Scott and Amy Johnson are here to understand your family's unique needs and deliver expert guidance on the North Texas real estate market. With a reputation for integrity and personalized service, Fireboss Realty makes your home journey stress-free and successful. Ready to make your move? Visit firebossrealty.com and let's ignite your real estate dreams.
Everyone deserves access to affordable health insurance, but with traditional insurance, costs can be high and getting coverage can be complicated. JP Direct Health is a simpler, more affordable way to get the health coverage you need. With plans for individuals, families, and small businesses, you can save money on monthly premiums without the need for physicals. At jpdirecthealth.com, we specialize in customizing coverage to fit almost every budget with affordable PPO plans and many other benefits. With over 100 5-star Google reviews, JP Direct Health is a trusted resource making health insurance affordable and accessible for everyone year-round. Affordable health insurance solutions are a proactive protection, not a reactive solution. Visit jpdirecthealth.com today and see how much you can save.
I'm always here to help. Thank you.
Total Care Emergency Room now has 9 locations in the DFW Metroplex. With no appointment needed, our incredible staff will get you checked in with no wait times. Our 5-star facility is open and fully staffed 24/7. We offer extensive treatment options for patients of all ages, providing on-site labs and imaging equipment, including CT, X-ray, and ultrasound, allowing us to provide fast, convenient care for our community. Total Care ER is your neighborhood emergency room. TotalCare.us.
Unwanted pests in your home can be stressful. From creepy crawlies to critters under the floorboards, they disrupt your peace of mind. But don't worry. All Pest Solutions is here to help. We offer a comprehensive range of safe and effective pest control solutions. We target all types of pests, big or small, including insects, rodents, and wildlife. All Pest Solutions, your local experts for a pest-free home. Breathe easy and enjoy your life again. Call today for a free quote. 972-442-1169 or email us at customerservice@allpestsolutions.com.
To belong is one of our most basic human needs. Best Buddies International is the world's largest organization dedicated to ending the social isolation of 200 million individuals who have intellectual and developmental disabilities. We focus on meaningful one-to-one friendships, integrated employment, leadership development, and inclusive living. You have the power to make an impact, create change, and champion our mission of inclusion today.
Now back to the show.
We're back again. We're about to deep dive into our monthly topic, how to think like a CEO, even if you're a team of one, adopting a growth mindset to lead your business to new heights. So, it's commonly said, and it's true, most entrepreneurs think they're building a business. But what if I told you that most of them are actually just building themselves a more demanding job? The reality is, if your business stops making money the moment you stop working, you don't own a business. You own a job disguised as a business. Today, we're going to expose the 4 biggest mindset traps that keep professionals stuck in their business instead of on it. We'll break down why working harder doesn't scale, why referrals are a growth trap, and why chasing clients is a losing game. If you've ever felt like no matter how much effort you put in, you're still stuck spinning your wheels, this conversation is going to change everything for you. So let's get into it. So the first thought-provoking section we're going to get into is your business is a job Your business is a job you built for yourself, not an asset. Take this to mind. If your business needs you to function, you don't own a business. You own a job with no benefits. So the first question I'm going to throw out there to Nate is going to be, most entrepreneurs say they run a business, but do they really? What's the real difference between owning a business and just having a job?
You know, I'll tell you, when you said that at first, that if you leave and your business does not create revenue, you just have a job with more responsibilities. I was guilty of that when I first started my company. Mm-hmm. And I feel most entrepreneurs and most business owners are. I feel those first few years are pivotal in that role of, are you even working a job, or did you just give yourself more responsibilities now? You know, I think, you know, one of the biggest things is the difference for me is not bottlenecking all of these responsibilities, you know, leveraging some of these responsibilities with assets such as employees, successful CRMs, things like that, trustworthy employees. And, you know, as a CEO, when you start to leverage these responsibilities or these roles, you run into this issue where leveraging can also go bad. If your investment is not great, you can also leverage in a bad way. So you really need to make sure that when you start to release some of these things, as you've bottlenecked this company that you've just started, you've taken this chance to let yourself go, find the great employees that you have, find the great CRMs, the great resources, and start delegating and start pushing things out.
So what I'm hearing you saying is, it's like the owner should be a chess player. Chess player being your employees. You delegate, you supervise, you provide overwatch, but you actually let them run the course. You put good people in place that you know, you trust, and can depend on. But at the same time, if you have to yank a piece and put another piece in place, that's what's going to help make you successful. Do you agree with that, Amanda?
100%. Being able to trust the people that you put into your business is huge. As a nonprofit, we have an amazing board of directors, 2 of which are on the show right now. Thank you, Kim and CJ. But having that governance is so critical, whether it's event planning or looking at strategic planning. We have some great pillars in the community that support our nonprofit, like Kevin Hidawi and David Vega. And Pat Greer, she's incredible. Miranda Khan is our CPA and treasurer, and she manages our bookkeeping. Without these folks, GRIS wouldn't be the successful nonprofit that it's become. And every board member has a unique position where they can assist in their own skill sets and expertise.
So let me ask you this question. I got a follow-up question for that because it's important.
Okay.
If your business needs you daily, because remember, I've been there with you from day one, well, maybe day 5, but trying to get that foothold. If your business needs you daily, how is that different from just being a job or employment?
Well, with a job, you show up, you have to get it done 9 to 5 and you're done.
Okay.
With starting your own business, it's your heart and soul. It's not like you ever really want to be done. Like I've always said, I don't work a day ever because I live for Gris. I also live for my daughter. And, when this is your passion, you don't work a day ever because you're just pouring your heart and soul into it.
So the biggest thing to take away from that, what we just talked about between you and Nat, is most entrepreneurs don't own a business. They own a job disguised as a business. The key is CEOs build assets that generate income, not jobs that demand their time. We delegate to those that work for us, but at the same time, you got to keep your foot on the pedal to make sure they're doing the right thing. I'm going to switch to Frank here with the question. Frank, I'm going to give you a statement first and go from there. CEOs don't work harder. They build machines that work for them. You are a prime example of that, as well as Miss Kim. So if effort alone built wealth, why aren't the hardest working people the richest?
Man, I wished I knew the answer to that, CJ. Things would be a lot different if I could figure that out.
All right.
No, but I have always heard that a business owner should not be working in their business. They should be working on their business. But the way I set my business up with me and my son, and I've got one graphic designer and I've added some part-time people.
Who's awesome.
But I still have to, I still need to be here pretty much all the time to be air traffic control, to make sure everything's working the way it needs to work.
That's the key. You just hit it. Air traffic controller. You got all the pieces moving. You're delegating what's going on, but are you the one actually flying those planes? No,
well, no. I don't do the actual work most of the time. Tyler pretty much handles everything as far as the manufacturing and everything with my business, but I'm the one that has to go in there and tell, hey, Leah, this one is very hot. We got to get it set up because it's due today. And then walk it over to Tyler and say, hey, Tyler, move this up to the front of the line. Amanda needs these brochures today. Let's get this done.
Exactly. And the key to that is you have a fine, well-tuned machine there. Sometimes it takes a bit of your time, but at the same time, you're not doing it all. Yeah. So segueing to Kim, I got a question for you, Miss Kim. If working hard isn't the key, what's the exact process to replace effort with a system that multiplies results without more labor, just like Frank?
I don't want to use a shallow word, like saying working smarter, not harder. But in the beginning in my career, I felt like I didn't have the money to outsource different things. And I think a lot of solopreneurs or people that are doing startup businesses or just begin, they start with a minimal amount of money. They don't always just walk out with, a silver spoon in their mouth. So whenever I learned how to shift my mindset from being a solopreneur into using a CEO mindset, I learned to get out of the daily grind of the daily task. So I started streamlining operations that scared me because I was having to delegate and pay for things and pay people to do things that I was afraid to do before because I was afraid I wasn't, frankly, going to be able to pay the bills. But whenever I started doing that, that gave me more time to have those belly to belly, deep, focusing conversations that were able to give more dialogue to my industry and to my career and to my business. So by delegating things and basically making money while I sleep was the key factor into my career and into my situation. So whenever I focused the big picture on building relationships and expanding partnerships and developing a long-term vision for growth, was whenever I started seeing a change in my career and in my industry. And it was scary at first. So if any of you are listening out there, it's going to be scary whenever you hire the person to do your social media or hire Frank to do your flyers. It's scary at first, but you have got to get out there and get the work done so you can get those belly to belly conversations and develop those deep growth mindset visions with other like-minded people, or even people that are 50,000 times out of your league, so that you can have your operations running because they've developed those relationships with you and started to trust your brand, frankly.
So dropping those nuggets of knowledge out there to our audience, it takes a humble individual as an owner. Because you come in there thinking, hey, I know it all. I can handle this. No. You have to realize what you don't know. And if anything, kind of like me in college, I had to take Calculus 3. Calculus 3. Well, my major was aviation computer science, but I didn't want to know what the area under a curve is, or basically what the shadow, your tire. I didn't need that. So I found the smartest guy, became his best friend, which was natural. And guess what? He tutored me. That's why you have to reach out for people within the industry, or just talk to someone that's been there, that's done that, that has that background to be able to grow upon it. Cool.
That's the crazy thing. In my industry, people are saying all the time, oh, you don't want to be friends, or you don't want to, have these belly to belly conversations with other real estate investors or entrepreneurs, or, a different company. But you want to be with them. You want to be around them because they can give you those nuggets of knowledge that you didn't know about, and you can grow from that. And you can also share your knowledge. Because whenever we're working together, and when you give to others and you help them to grow their business, it will come back to you tenfold. So there's nothing that ever goes wasted. So you're looking for long-term vision and growth, not short-term.
Very good. So I'm going to ask another question, which piggybacks off of everything we just spoke about. Hey, Nate. What's the first system every business owner should build? What do you think it would be?
I feel like there's a multiple of answers here.
Okay.
I think for myself, one of the first things that we needed to become successful was a successful CRM. Without our CRM, we are nobody. Without knowing where our clients came from, how to track them, how to find them when someone calls into us, we're nobody. We're not, obviously none of us are running out of filing cabinets anymore. There's a lot better ways. And without a CRM for us, we would not be successful today.
So for those of us that don't understand what a CRM, not me.
The people from the Rolodex days.
Exactly. Okay. There you go. There you go.
Yes. A Rolodex in the computer. That's exactly.
And that's what I was about to bring to the forefront is, somebody that may know more than you do. You realize or exercise that leverage to be able to make you better. Hey, great answers, Nate. Thank you. So, Miss Amanda, what's the most overlooked way to create leverage in a business? What do you think?
So I think people often get kind of trapped in this idea that I have all the answers, especially when you're building your own business. And I'm guilty of that too. I have this vision and I know everything, but I actually don't. And so being able to not just delegate, but to build these relationships with people that have complementary skills is essential. And so when I started with Gris, it wasn't like an orchestra was just born. I had to start from the very beginning when I could barely scrape together any money for those brochures. And what I did was I joined the Chamber of Commerce and I put myself out there and I went to as many events as I could. I had students start performing at these events. And before I knew it, it was like all of a sudden there were these relationships I was building with people with all different backgrounds, with all different ideas. And together we built Gris. Gris is successful because of the Rockwall community and how I've been supported over the time I've started. And even when I was pregnant and having a newborn, I had to kind of step aside and take care of myself and my baby. But I had great people cheering me on, whether it was the board or even my artistic faculty. Just because I wasn't there didn't mean rehearsal stopped. We had 2 conductors, we had the music director, we had a whole slew of faculty that work with the kids. Their programs and concerts continued, even if I couldn't come to every rehearsal. So it's just all about relationships at the end of the day.
Nate,
go ahead. I'm sorry, Kim. Go ahead.
Oh, I apologize. Go ahead, Amanda.
It's immersion in the community. Immersion. And I was there with you to see you do that, as well as Kim. You were everywhere. Oh my gosh.
I've never seen a nonprofit work as hard as you did at the very beginning, because everybody knows who you are now.
That's right.
My concerns were, as an EMT, I'm like, oh, she's about to drop that baby. She's about to. Why are you here? Why are you here? Go home. Let daddy rub your feet. Do something. Why are you here?
That baby is at every meeting. That baby's in all of our photos.
She's a beauty. She's a beauty.
Before Amanda even knew who I was, I had already known who she was from being around places.
Oh my gosh.
And Nate, I have a question for you right quick, because I think some people who are listening may ask this question. You were talking about your CRM. And so if in your particular industry, and which all of ours, including GRIS, the nonprofit, and including, Minuteman Press and Compound Nevada, if referrals you're saying are the best way for you to grow your business, can you explain to me why the biggest companies in the world spend billions on marketing instead of just waiting on word of mouth? So can you kind of elaborate a little bit about your CRM and maybe and add a little bit of commentary on that? Because some people think about that as a word of mouth, but I'm assuming that when you do your CRM, you're asking, how did they hear about Nate Roofing, and how did they hear about GRIS, and how did they hear about Minuteman Press? And then how do you turn that into profit? Could you elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things for us is, well, comparing larger companies, these hundreds of millions of dollar companies versus a lot of small businesses. I think for them, they've created somewhat more of a marketing push rather than a word of mouth referral push. And that could be industry based, or it could just be because they're, quote unquote Nike or whoever that company is. They're, they're well known in that industry. I think for us, that CRM helps because we know how to track exactly where our business is coming from, whether,
you contract that out, correct?
That's exactly right. So we have, for instance, we had a billboard off 30, and all the time we'd hear, oh, we saw your billboard. Oh, we saw your billboard. And then, the next person calls in and they say, well, how did you hear about us? What made you call Fate Roofing Group? Oh, well, I have a friend that's a realtor, and Kim Johnson told us to give you a call. So those things help navigate how we make a push into the next person. If everything is coming off of referrals and everything is coming off of how we're networking and how we're showing up to these events, like Amanda was pushing when she was starting,
yes,
then that's the push that we're going to go to. That's the drive that we're going to go.
That's awesome.
Really, it just helps us. It helps us figure out what funnel we need to attack.
So the big thing that I take from that then is, as a CEO, you don't trade time for money. You build systems that replace effort. We're not chasing referrals. We're chasing people that have similar mindset to help promote our businesses for us.
In other words, taking control by engineering demand instead of hoping for leads. Is that what I'm understanding from all of you?
Exactly.
Very, very good. And once again, scaling is about doing more. It's about multiplying results, those connections, those relations that you build without increasing effort. Awesome, awesome.
And now you work in one of the most competitive industries, definitely in Rockwall County. There are more roofers in Rockwall than you can.
No, there's more realtors than roofers in Rockwall.
Well, realtors and roofers.
On that note, I can see we're getting real lively now. We're going to go ahead and we're going to break the next task up. We're going to talk about what's the difference.
And now it's time for What's the Difference?
All righty, here we go. So the question I have for Amanda is, what's the difference between building a business and building a brand?
So, people say that, your face, your image is actually like the brand that you're building. People support Greater Rockwall Youth Symphony because it's good for the kids, it's good for the community, but also they see the good that I'm trying to do. It's so important that, when you're the face of a company or an organization, they see that you're genuine. Like a lot of times when people hear me talk, they see my passion like come through my pores, and they know that it's near and dear to my heart, and it's what I live for. Does that make sense?
Very much so.
Yes, absolutely.
So take that for me, Frank. What do you think?
Repeat the question.
Building a business and building a brand.
Building a brand is something that will last. Building a business is temporary, getting that one order today. Building a brand means you're going to get the orders from now on.
So essentially, it's building a business focuses on revenue, operations, and profitability, but that relationships help you form all of that together, correct?
Exactly.
Nice. So, Kim, what's the difference between thinking like a CEO and thinking like an employee?
Well, whenever you're thinking like a CEO, you're thinking about streamlining and delegating. And whenever you're thinking like an employee, you're just doing the menial day-to-day task, which will saturate your time, and you're not able to create your legacy that you're hoping that you can sell at a later date if something was to happen to you. Like, for instance, Abby Halliday was able to sell her business, or look at Mary Kay. She's not here anymore, and it continues on.
Cool. So, I'm going to toss that back to you, Nate, because it sounds like what everyone's saying is thinking like an employee means focusing on tasks, job security. Hey, I'm just worried about me. I don't really care if this place goes under. And immediate execution. You have a job to do, get your job done. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it almost even ties into to building that brand. It goes back to that. I know for myself, I'm really good at branding. And I feel like that's the kind of things that a CEO does is they help build that brand. So that way, whenever they're done, their legacy continues. So yes, absolutely. I couldn't agree more.
All right.
Yeah, you want to make money. I was taught one time, if you are making money while you are sleeping, you are finally doing it.
Yeah. Yeah. I know whenever it comes to like, from building a business side, I think a lot of it has to do with the knowledge, and if you're confident with the knowledge, then, and you've got the knowledge, then sure, you could build the business. I think the success comes from building the brand. The success comes from figuring out not what do I need to do today to go home and spend time with my family, or to go home and hang out. It's what do I need to do for the future? What do I need to do to keep this company thriving, successful, making money while I'm sleeping? So that branding aspect really ties in. It really resonates with me a lot, because I know for myself, no one knew who Fate Roofing was. No one knew who we were, and like Frank said previously, this industry is we're a bunch of minnows in a shark tank in DFW, and Rockwall especially. So branding is key to success, in my opinion, and I think that goes a lot into it.
Do you agree? Do you all agree with me? Because this is something I get asked a lot. Do you all agree with me that while we in building those deep relationships with other people, iron sharpening iron, building those deep relationships while you have delegated people to do your social media, people to do your CRM, people to do your marketing, people to be doing your paperwork and your filing and running and doing your errands, even though that costs you money, those belly to belly conversations and getting out there and building those strong relationships with people and compounding and stamping your brand in their brain like a postage stamp. Do you all agree with me as a nonprofit or as a business that that is something that we have all done in one way or another?
Absolutely.
For sure.
Yeah. Yeah, Kim, I think I think when I first got into this business, I remember my wife was pregnant and I was like, what am I going to do? I know roofing. I've been doing this for years. I got to start my own company. I can't fail. I can do this. And I remember getting out to those networking events and getting out and being plugged into the Rockwall Chamber and going to the master networks and the after hours networks and being so intimidated by seeing all these successful people that were already there and already friends and you know, just the intimidation I'll never forget. And so whenever now that I feel like I've got such a great relationship with so many people in Rockwall, so many people that I would consider if I wasn't around, these are successful people. These people are more successful than I am. And so when I see new people come in that have just started a business, I try to make them feel so at ease because I remember that tension and that intimidation that I felt. And sometimes it was unmotivating, you know? So I think making those relationships, like you said, iron sharpens iron. I mean, you hit it on the head with that one. I like that.
And the big thing that I picked up from you last night, trying to get in touch with you, you mastered that because you got to make time for family, no matter what you're doing in our busy schedules. You got to. That's right. And when you're telling me that, hey, let's talk tomorrow because I got to tuck the kiddos in, you always got to keep mama happy. No worries.
Right.
No worries.
That's right.
So, Amanda, what's the difference between influence and authority?
So, I mean, as a small business owner, a startup, it's very similar. But, you know, when you influence, it's having that that impact that's larger than your business. So what I try and do with Gris is give everyone an opportunity to make music. So the business or the organization is a youth orchestra. There are youth orchestras all over the country, including in the DFW area. But the influence that Gris has is that we are accessible for everyone, whether you're poor or rich, whether you have access to opportunities to have private music lessons. We give kids from all over this opportunity. And so by giving that inclusivity and kind of leveling out the playing field, it's an influence that I hope will shape how other organizations that run like a youth orchestra.
So what I'm taking from what you're saying is influence means people trust and value your perspective. Nate just said that before. Even if you don't have a position of power, it's what you bring to the table. Authority means having the official title of control. Well, I am so-and-so, but it doesn't mean that people respect you or follow you. And by embedding ourselves in our community through those meet and greets, through those mixers, people get comfortable with you. And it's like, you know what? Hey, let's have a conversation. And that's how we continue to build and take things across the board to each other. So cool. Last question. This one's going to have to be quick before we go to commercial break. Frank, what's the difference between creating demand and capturing demand?
Well, creating demand is creating a need for your product or service. Capturing the demand is actually making it actually happen.
Couldn't have said it better. Creating demand means educating the market, shaping perception, and what you said, making people want something they weren't actively looking for. Capturing that same demand means targeting people who already know what they need and they come to you because you offer it.
Perfect.
You know, I had
did great,
something
Clarence.
that you said before, Kim, and I want to go back to that because it's all about the presence. It's all about the knowledge. It's all about the engagement. You have to have people that like you to actually approach you.
Like you, know you, and trust you.
Yeah,
that's it.
They teach
And
that in
that's
networks.
That's why you see me and Nate and Amanda and Frank and yourself all over the place. People, we walk in a door and they know who we are, what we do, and hopefully they like us. If they don't, they might choose somebody else. But
Kim, that's
9 times out,
bubbly, Kim.
well, thank you.
And smiling. Everybody already knows Kim's there.
Well, and Nate is a little handsome self, and Amanda just her darling, loving charm, and Frank, that beard, I'm telling you, I still think it's off Duck Dynasty, man. I know who you are.
That's a whole people know who I am when I walk in a room.
And then when Clarence walks in, it's just like a gigantic, bald king coming in.
Awesome. With that, we're going to go ahead and take our commercial break at this time, and we'll follow up with the next and last segment. It's going to be our guest and co-host, Deep Dive.
Woo! Here we go.
At the Community Difference Business Development Alliance, powered by the Difference Media, LLC, our mission is to empower small business owners by transcending acceptable behaviors and outcomes into exceptional realms. We foster a culture of self-awareness, accountability, and proactive engagement, guiding individuals to recognize and overcome indifference towards transformative actions, habits, behaviors, and processes driving meaningful change. Through strategic networking, impactful content creation, and innovative top-of-mind strategies, we cultivate brand relevance and differentiation, enabling our partners and the Difference community to stand out in crowded markets. With a focus on building authentic connections, amplifying brand presence, and driving sustainable growth, we equip entrepreneurs with the tools and mindset to navigate the complexities of entrepreneurship with confidence, innovation, and resilience. Together, we aim to be the catalyst for difference makers, propelling them towards their highest potential and leaving a lasting impact on their businesses and communities. That's where our community podcasts come in. These podcasts lie directly at the intersection of innovative business development and community involvement, helping to bridge the gap between small business obscurity often seen in our communities. The community-based podcasts called the Community Difference Series are an integral part of integrating all facets of modern business development into a package of great content, positive impact branding, and top-of-mind presence, thus fulfilling the greater mission we set forth. When we set out to be difference makers, we can learn to make a difference and find the success and impact innately desired by all business owners and entrepreneurs. We are difference makers.
So, in this last section, you get to have some fun. I get to
Yay!
put you guys off guard and see how you react and respond. So, I'm going to go to Amanda first. The first time we met, I was in Leadership Rockwall 2023. You came, you presented and said, hey, I have this brainchild that I want to bring to fruition. Why? Why?
There's a need. There's a distinct need for this in Rockwall. I mean, anywhere east of Dallas, there aren't these opportunities for kids. You have to cross the bridge, which I don't like to do here for very good reasons. But the market fit was here first and foremost. Rockwall is a growing cultural, really a city now. It's more than just the downtown square and all of the charm. We're going to have IKEA. Like we're becoming a little bit of a mecca in the metro.
We are a mecca. Yes.
And we're the music capital.
Exactly. It is also the free live music capital.
Yep.
But with Gris, I mean, the kids need these opportunities. There's a ton of great nonprofits in the area, all of which are important to support. But what Gris does differently is that not only are we giving them opportunities to serve through music, we're giving them opportunities to get off the streets and make better choices. We're giving them direction. A lot of my friendship students and even GRIS students are first generation college students. They're getting music scholarships. They're literally going from video games or scrolling on social media to I'm learning how to play Mozart. I know who Bizet is. I know who Stravinsky is. And the confidence and the pride and the eye contact and posture. I mean, that's what GRIS is about. It's so much more than just music. It's this vehicle for professional development.
Oh, you're going to make me cry.
Brainchild for expressing yourself through music through them, correct?
Yes.
Awesome.
And bettering the community. Like it all comes back to community.
And I don't even know if anybody knows a fun fact about her, but not only am I proud to serve on the board of GRIS with this beautiful woman and to help these children and just to navigate this landscape of where the arts combine with the Rockwall Art League as well, and creating the symphony of colors in case anybody didn't know. But I don't know if anybody knows, but Amanda, could you just tell me a little bitty bit about how you, which piqued my interest, your classical training at Juilliard in middle school. How in the world did that happen? Because I am so impressed by that. I didn't even know that about you until I did my research to get ready for the show.
So I was fortunate enough to grow up in New York. So I had access to the New York Philharmonic and the Met, and my mom and dad took me to museums and Broadway shows. So I had access to a lot of cultural opportunities. Mm-hmm. And when I was in 4th grade, I started French horn lessons with like the local high school band director. And quickly I was kind of able to activate my talent, and I loved it. And I was always, into singing and theater, but with French horn, it was special. It was completely different than anything else I did. And so I started taking lessons in Manhattan, and my parents, my dad would drive in a snowstorm. As I got older, I learned how to take the Long Island Railroad and the subway system. But basically, all roads lead to Juilliard if you're a classical musician. I mean, or at least that's
so impressive
there. And they have a fantastic pre-college program. And if I didn't have a scholarship, I wouldn't be going.
Where in New York?
I grew up in Oceanside, Long Island.
On the island, okay.
Yeah, the accent is still there a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit. Long Island, no worries.
And then she landed in this little island in Rockwall, and now she's giving back to all these children.
Yes, she is. That's awesome. Hey, Nate.
Here I am.
What's going on, brother? So, Frank hit on it before. All these roofers here in the metropolitan area. What drove you to provide the services that you do?
A little bit previous. I've been doing this since 2016, 2017, about the end of 2016. And I used to travel everywhere. I was in Connecticut, New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Arizona, Colorado. I mean, I've done roofing in many states. After a while, it gets tiring. You want to come back home. You want to come back to your roots. I'm an alumni at Heath High School. I grew up in Rockwall. I went to elementary school here. I wanted to come back here, have a family. And so we did that for a few years, and I came back. And the roofing industry is not a regulated industry. A lot of people don't know that. Electricians, HVAC, all the plumbers, they all have licenses in Texas. There's no license to obtain in Texas for roofing. So
I always hear that, Nate, but do you wish there was some kind of regulation like that? I didn't know if roofers, a legitimate roofer like you wanted that kind of regulation.
We wish there was. I think 80% of the competition would vanish overnight. Tomorrow, you could go start, Kim, tomorrow you could go start Johnson's Roofing and Construction with no license and be a roofer in Texas. It's not fair to the guys that are legitimate. And the reason that I started this company is two levels of reasoning. The first was I'd gotten kind of pushed around by some other companies when I worked for them. And I realized that, man, this industry is very, very cutthroat in the sense of loyalty. There's not a lot of loyalty in this industry. And that was one of the reasons when I started my company, I wanted to make sure that there will never be a day that someone has something bad to say about Fate Roofing Group. I will always take care of clients. I will always take care of my employees. I will always take care of the homeowner first. That was my main drive of starting this. And it just so happened that when I started it, my wife was 7 months pregnant with our first baby. And I had about $2,000 to my name. And I said, I got to do something. And so that was my greatest push. Becoming a father is my greatest achievement in my entire life. And I would say the second is starting this company, because it directly reflects being able to provide for not only my family, but my crew's families, my employees' families, and then helping the families that we help. So it is, all of it ties in, and it's just such a beautiful story that we are able to help. But Frank, to your point, every legitimate roofer, and there's tons of legitimate guys, especially here in Rockwall County. We're not the only one. There's a lot of great businesses around here, a lot of great roofers. We all wish that it was regulated. We wish that
where it gets real ugly. Where it gets real ugly is in the spring when there's hail damage, and all these roofers from out of state. Chuck in a truck shows up.
That's what we call them.
Knocking doors, and you can see them walking the neighborhoods.
I've heard, these guys are collecting 50% payment up front, and that's a $10,000-$20,000 check, and then they drop materials off and they're gone. Yep. No one builds anything, and boom, they just took you for 10, 20 grand.
And that's the importance of being relational and not just transactional, because I know who I can refer. I give my clients 3 people, and it's up to them to choose, but there are 3 people that I have vetted. And so getting to know the workings of Nate Roofing behind the scenes and seeing, because they are not regulated. And in my industry, if I refer Nate, I have to know that he's not going to burn my name to my client. And that's why if my brand is going to go with Nate's brand, I'm going to vet them very well, just like me being on the grist board, vet them very well.
Yeah.
So I got a question, and Amanda, this kind of applies to you, but it doesn't, because I know you offer scholarships. You reach out to those kids that they have the need, they have the ability, but they don't have the area to be able to do so. Nate, do you do anything philanthropic in nature to support your community?
Yeah, we do. We do a lot. One thing that I just did recently, and I didn't tell anybody about this. There was a church here in Fate, and a lady posted on the Fate Texas website. So this is just a specific story, but we do things like this all the time. But this story was really cool. She just posted that there was a 17-year-old single mom of a 2-year-old daughter, and she needed Christmas, she needed clothes, she needed all these things, and then the big ask was she needs a car. She's Ubering everywhere. And she's like, obviously the car probably won't happen. A lot of people stepped up in the community. I think, man, we got so many Christmas gifts for the daughter. And then I said, we need to focus on mom here. The daughter is great. She's 2 or 3, I think. And everybody was buying for the daughter, but mom needs toiletries. Mom needs, clothes, and mom needs to feel special. She's 17. She needs, nails and makeup and hair products and all these things. So I went and bought a gift basket for mom. And obviously my wife helped me because I am terrible at those things.
I know your strengths and weaknesses.
I knew who to bring to Target with me. But then I said, man, my network is vast. I know I have people out there that can help me with this. So I put a post out on Facebook and just said, does anybody have a cash card? Does anybody have something that is not going to break the bank, but is reliable? And I had a friend, an old friend, just reach out. We haven't talked in 10 years. And she says, my husband works out in McKinney at a dealership. Go see him right now. He's got a car that they're selling. They sold us a 2013 Kia Soul for $2,500.
Oh, awesome.
Beautiful car. So I bought the car sight unseen, told him, hold it for me. I'm on the way. My wife took me out there. We got the car. And this all happened in Christmas. And I'm getting goosebumps because it's so cool. We're about to give it to her. So I know it's almost April now, or it's March, going into April. she didn't have her license. So we couldn't give her the car in December when we wanted. Right. So it took her forever to finally get an appointment. Her appointment is in April. We're giving her the car in April. The church got together money to get 6 months paid insurance for her. I'm giving her the car. It's an awesome deal. So things like that, that is a good example of something that we do. You know, recently, I'm a Heath Hawk alumni. We all know the Vader bond didn't pass. It sucked. The teachers deserved it. My mom's an assistant principal at community middle school. Okay. I wish it would have passed for these teachers. I wanted to show them that we just appreciate them. These teachers get lunches all the time, but they didn't want sandwiches. They don't want pizza. So I got them fajitas, chicken and beef fajitas. I brought it up there. We gave them fajitas. I asked my mom, I said, Mom, you know, I want to do something. It's not going to be much. I can't give them all cash. There's 200 faculty and staff, but what can I do? And she's like, don't do pizza. I was like, okay, I won't do pizza. I'll do something better. I was like, what about fajitas? She's like, that's going to be expensive, but they would love that. So we did fajitas. And, you know, we also were able to help another local restaurant, actually right next door to Frank's place. So nice. we got them. So, fajitas, you know, we do stuff like that.
Piggybacking off of that, Amanda being with Gris, Amanda, could you share with everyone the impact of just maybe $100, how many children that could possibly help? Just a simple donation of $100 to Gris as a nonprofit, as if companies want to give back, because we all know you get if you give.
So, you know, Gris gives to the community through music, not just to our students, but our performances for other nonprofits and for seniors and veterans. And we don't charge for it, although donations are always welcome and appreciated. And we do have a tuition model, even though 80% of our kids receive financial aid, and of those 58% are on full needs-based scholarships. Those donations and sponsorships make it so that our organization can continue because, of course, we need money like every other. So when we don't have tuition, it really helps to have these donors. So our tuition model is anywhere from $100 to $625, and that can cover anywhere from a string quartet to a whole year of orchestra. So, you know, everything costs money, but we pay our music faculty well. We make sure that we have venue space. We make sure that, you know, when we put an event together, it's done right. And everybody in the photo booth is there. You know, we don't want it to just be your basic kids concert. This is different than what other organizations and even what the schools do. The schools put together amazing events, but they have the budget that Gris doesn't have. So and really help.
Being one of the richest cities in Texas, everybody's willing to give to football and to cheerleading. I'm sure Nate can relate to this. But people forget about the arts, and the arts is so extremely important. So if businesses are thinking about giving back, you're here as a nonprofit today, and also showing how you can act like a CEO. This is a great opportunity for people to maybe think outside the box.
That's awesome. And that's where the community comes into place. And unfortunately, we're at that point where bye. Final thoughts, Amanda. Tell us about you, your business, how people can get in touch with you.
So Amanda Casper, we're on Facebook, both myself and Greater Rockwall Youth Symphony. You can actually listen to some of our recordings on YouTube and on our Instagram and Facebook page. And just a brief shout out, we've had some great sponsors, Cavender Nissan, Atmos Energy, Frostbank. We've had organizations big to small. So thank you to those organizations that believe in Gris, that believe in our community, youth, and music.
Awesome. Nate?
Nate Romo, Fate Roofing Group. You can reach us at 972-569-7012, or you can call me personally, 469-626-2824. That is our two locations.
Is that your bat phone?
Yes, I got a bat phone. That's exactly right.
Good. Frank?
I'm Frank with Minuteman Press. You can catch me at 469-769-1600. We had a great show today. Clarence, congratulations on your first show hosting. Yay. You did a fantastic job keeping us in line. And we had two amazing guests today. I can't think of anybody we could have had that was better.
Couldn't do it without you guys.
Amen.
Kim?
Oh, 469-273-0314. You can also look at Kim at kimsellstexas.com or www.kimsellstexas.com. And always remember, #KimSellsTexas. I'm here for all your commercial, residential, real estate, wealth building needs. Anything that you need, or if you just want a question, it doesn't cost you a dime to ask me a question. Let's sit down and grab some coffee and have a talk.
And closing this out, I am Clarence Jorif with the Compound Nevada. If it goes bang, I teach it. It's all about safety for you, your family, and those around you. The Compound Nevada, 972-853-0602. Look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching today's show.
The Community Difference Rockwall was made possible by McLeod with Minuteman Press of Rockwall, Clarence Jorif with the Compound Nevada, Kim Johnson with Kim Johnson Group, and Harvey Lusher with Twilight Cleaning. Community Difference Rockwall. Together, we can make the difference.